Welcome to Same Script, Different Cast. Contact 1 is an extension of the SSDC podcast. I typically do that with Wikipedia, Plot Reader, and Movie Pop-Up. You are with me today, seen it, and I'm going to go over episode 3 of Outsider entitled Dark Uncle. So at the end of the second episode, we're with the Georgia Investigative Bureau, GIB. They go into the barn. They're picking up what's left of Terry Maitland's clothes, which are socks, jeans, a belt buckle. That's going to be important in a little bit. So someone has to pick up the clothes from the police department. And since Ralph is on leave, they send this guy named Jack. Jack actually takes his time in going up there. He makes a stop at the strip joint, and then he continues up there. So when Jack gets up to the barn, he's walking around in the barn, checking everything out, talking to himself. He sees a shadowy shape type of a figure just appear. Because it's dark, he has out his flashlight, and then just an image appears to him. Then he just starts talking. We, the audience, don't see who he's talking to. It looks like he's just talking to nothing, but he's answering questions. It's like, hi, I'm a police officer. So we don't know what the questions are on the other end. But towards the end of that scene, Jack is like beat up or bit, and you just hear a lot of squishy sounds. And we see later when he returns to the nudie bar, that strip club, whatever, that he has some sort of indentation or pus-filled bumps on the back of his neck because he continues to rub it. Throughout the entire episode, he's being hurt. It's not clear if they're causing just these the shape figures are causing some sort of a migraine headache to him. If what they're doing, since the indentation is on the back of his neck, are they squeezing his neck, which makes the pus balls or whatever that's back there throb? It's not real clear. By the end of the episode, there's a scene where he just murmurs, "Whatever you need me to do." Yep, whatever you need me to do. So it seems like he's been beaten to submission, where he wants whatever type of pain this is to stop, and I'll do whatever you need me to do. I'll do whatever you need me to do. In this episode, we're also introduced to investigator Holly Gibney, and she is brought up because there's this issue with Ralph Anderson and Eunice. They're trying to figure out what happened at the barn. They're looking at the pictures. They see the prints, that this one set of prints that are good. They're Terry Maitland's, young Terry, they're good, they're solid. There's another set of other fingerprints, Terry Maitland, but 80 or 90 years old. How can we explain that anomaly? That's at the barn, and that's also in the van. Also, the goo or the ooze that's being tested, it's not registering for anything. They're testing for everything, but the lab technicians are having a hard time placing this ooey substance. So totally just out of it, and just like, what is our next step? Ralph suggests to Eunice that they contact Howie Solomon, who's the attorney for Mrs. Maitland, and Alec Pally with all the details that they have on the van and also the barn, because 4 heads are better than 2. Let's try to figure this out. So they have this discussion. Ralph Anderson is like, maybe it's not Terry, but we need to figure out who it is because something isn't jiving. He was in Ohio. The murder took place here. He can't be in 2 places at once. We just need to figure out what the hell is going on. Alec and Solomon say, well, we have to go back to Ohio. We have to find out how this all started, and it seems like shit hit the fan there. No one is able to go to Ohio. You have Ralph Anderson, who's on leave. Solomon can't go. Eunice can't go. He has some sort of a conference in Atlanta. So that is when it's recommended to put Holly Gibney on the case. Ralph and Alec go to Chicago to meet up with Holly, tell her everything that's going on to put on the case. So we meet her. She's quirky. She is extremely smart and different, but she knows her stuff. She knows how to investigate a case. She knows how to go about the investigation, as you see in this episode, with laser focus. She's attuned to people's attitudes. She's perceptive. She can read a room. So Holly backtracks Terry's movements during the Ohio trip. She discovers that a male nurse, his name is Heath Hofstetter, he was at the institution of Terry's dad, and he was convicted of murdering 2 young girls around the same time of the visit. Heath Hofstetter sounds so similar to Patrick Hofstetter, who was part of Henry Bauer's gang in It. Okay, Stephen King, his universe. So maybe Heath is a relative of Patrick. But anyway, We also see Heath. He is currently in prison. He's reading a book called Lost in the Maze, and he later commits suicide to avoid being killed by another inmate. I did look up Lost in the Maze because shows like this tend to have clues in various places. So when I watch these episodes, I have it on closed caption. I need to read everything so I can really understand what's going on. I look at everything that's in the frame. And so when Heath was reading in the maze, I was like, okay, so what is this book? And it's about an ISIS commander that has been embedded in a high-level office of the United States government. The terrorist is only known as the controller. He has recruited officials in law enforcement, businesses, the army. So I wonder how that ties into the show. Is the head of whatever's going on part of local law enforcement? In the episode, we're also introduced to, because we already know about that. Well, with the Maitland family, one night, Jessa goes to her mom, Glory, and says that she needs to tell the sad man something. Glory's like, I'm not even trying to deal with this crap anymore with everything that's going on with my husband's murder, but fine. So she calls her lawyer Solomon over, and then she invites Ralph. Ralph brings his wife and tries to relay the message. During this meeting, Glory refuses to let Ralph talk to Jessa because he's starting to ask questions like, well, what did the guy look like? What did he say? What did he say that was so bad that would happen if I did not, quote unquote, stop? Ralph's wife is able to convince Glory to help with Jessa's nightmare. Jessa expresses to Ralph's wife that the man she is seeing is transforming every time she sees him. The message to Ralph was just for him to stop. Going to this episode, Jessa has seen this figure, this shape, 4 times. First time, looked like her dad, but he was totally mean. Second time, didn't really look like her dad. She said that he had a messy face, looking like it was trying to be erased. Third time, he came, and this is the thing. The shape was muscular and had ink, muscles and ink. So we're looking for this transformation is currently happening, going from her dad to someone else who has muscles and tattoos. That's what I got from that. So in essence, Jessa was telling Ralph, stop or something bad will happen and you should be the one that should be scared. So that's gonna be it for episode 3. Looking forward to episode 4. So thank you so much for joining me. Tune in next time. If you have any theories about what's going on in the show, be happy to hear it. If you read the book, I don't want to know. No spoilers if you read the book. Let me just put it like that. All right, thanks for tuning in. See ya.
I think that